Okay, hello guys and welcome back. Sorry I didn't get the camera straight. Sorry I haven't talked to you guys in a while. I've been kind of sick, so if I'm sniffling then that's what's going on. But I promised that we get started on all this LED stuff, and so here's the beginning video. This is going to be the video of showing how to mechanically make that cube look to it. So what I did was and I'll put this as a PDF in the folder that I normally put on my project code page when I do the zip file for this lesson, for this project that we're doing. It'll have the code, the hardware, all the software stuff and everything that it normally has, but I'll also include this too. This is a little pattern that I made for a jig to and the dimensions and everything of all your stuff. Basically, it's going to be 2.5 by 2.5 is going to be the size of your cube. They're all 3/4 of an inch spaced everywhere and all that stuff, and then you drill your holes or whatever. And when I did that, I just had some scrap wood that I had laying around, and that's what I did. I took and I drilled that same pattern. What this is going to do is this is going to be your jig to hold your LEDs. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to take an LED. Okay, now this is important. Long one is the anode, short one is the cathode. Those of you that don't know, let's see if we can't get this thing to focus properly. Okay, so long is anode, short cathode. Okay, so now what you're going to want to do is take yourself, I like these little pliers. They're little small things and they work real well. But what you're going to want to do is, first off, you're going to want to take the anode, you're going to grab it way down here, and you're going to bend it 90 degrees this direction. Can you see that? See what I'm doing? See, I'm bending it this direction. Okay, and so you're going to want it to be like that. Okay, we just bend it out to the side. Okay, so if you're looking at it with the long one facing you, you want to bend it to the left. Okay, so just bend that one to the left. Now, the cathode, the short one, okay, you're going to take it and we want to bend it out this way. Okay, so let me do that. Okay, so I'm going to grab a hold of it here. Okay, and then we're going to bend it this direction. Okay, so that way you have a deal that looks like this. Okay, maybe straighten it up a little bit. Basically, you have this like this. Okay, so now you're going to have anode and cathode. Okay, and just so you know, if you ever want to tell, there's always, I don't know if you can see this with this camera, but there's always a flat spot marking the cathode. I don't know, can you see that? I don't know if you can see that. That this side, this part of the round plastic of the LED has a flat spot, and that denotes the cathode. Okay, so anode, cathode. Okay, so now what we are going to do is, now with the cathode, we want to take the cathode and come out, I don't know, about, see if I can get this thing to focus, about that far or so, yeah, about yay far, and we're going to bend it 90 degrees, okay, to where you have something like this. Okay, so something like that, and then this is going to go in your jig upside down, just like that. Okay, here I'm going to zoom in so you can see it. Okay, go in your jig like that. You have to do some straightening. Okay, and then we're going to do another one. So doing the same exact thing, I'll back off. So doing the same exact thing again, the anode, bend it over. Okay, and then turn it. Now the cathode, bend it towards you. So you have this sort of a thing. Kind of straighten it up a little bit. Okay. Whoops. And you can drop it. And then now take the cathode. Let me grab the cathode. I'm sorry, I'm trying to look through the viewfinder and do this, and it's proving to be very difficult. Okay, then bend this up. Okay, to where we have our 90-degree thing again. Now this one goes in here again. Okay, and you'll notice that when I do that, I'll see if I can get it to focus, this guy's anode reaches over to this guy's anode. They're supposed to do that. We're actually going to solder this in place in a moment. It's supposed to do that. Now, between these two, what I've done is I have some wire. Okay, what I've done with this wire is I've tinned it. So those of you that don't know what tinning means, I've basically taken some solder, okay, some solder, and I've taken the solder and I've just kind of run it along it. You know, take a soldering iron, put it on the underside, heat it up, and let the wire just kind of wick up the solder, and that will turn the wire silvery, you know, because you want everything to be kind of that silver color. Now, the wire I found that works the best with this is Teflon wire, because it's silver to start with. It looks, let's see, I got a chunk of it somewhere around here. Okay, Teflon wire looks like this, and if you, let's see, let me grab a pair of strippers. If you strip a chunk of this off, well, if I can get the insulation off of it, okay. If you can see, it's actually silvery to start with. Put my hand behind to get this thing to focus. It's actually kind of silvery to start with. However, it will want to fray. It'll want to come apart on you because it's stranded. So if you run some solder down it, it'll, you know, that makes it all hard and stiff, and it won't want to come apart on you. So where that's going to go is that's going to go underneath, okay? And it's just going to chill like that. We'll ultimately put a blob of solder on it. On each row, we'll get a blob of solder, and I'll show you that here in a minute. I'm going to go ahead and bend another LED. Okay, so again, starting with the anode, bend that this way. Okay, and we take and we bend our cathode. Okay, then we take our cathode and it bends up. Okay, and then we put it in. Okay, do that one more time. I'll actually show it to you. Bend this one over. Oops, sorry. Get it under the viewfinder. This one over. Okay. We will bend this one up like that. Okay. Put it in the hole. Okay. Same deal on this side. Take another piece of wire. Okay. Sneak it underneath. And it's going to sit just like that too. Okay. So now, when you get done doing this, I'll bend the rest of these. When you get done doing this, you're going to get something that looks like this. Okay. You can get a bunch of LEDs. That's going to look like this. And I mean, you may have to play with it and straighten it up, and whatnot. But if you can see, here's our two pieces of wire. Okay. Here's all the ones that were sticking off to the side. If you see that with our one that we're making up, see that? And now we're going to be cutting some of this down and whatnot, but I'll show you that when we go to assemble it. But what you're going to want to do is you're going to make 4 of these. If you're doing the 4x4x4, which is what I'm doing, I'm going to do 4x4, and then there's going to be 4 of these high. So I have to make 3 more of these. Okay, the one that I'm making plus 2 more. And then I'll have 4. But that's what it's going to look like. And see, you have all these little pins that stick down. Okay, and how it's going to work is, let me grab a power supply here, is you're going to hook your power on one of them. And it's very important that you test your LEDs. Like, so the minute you make one of these rows, test it. Hook your power to it. And then if you can see that one, 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 that one. And as you can see, all of them work. So I'm testing all my little LEDs. Okay, now all of them work. So that means that row, this layer is really good. It's good to go. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and finish up putting this in and getting all the rows, and then when we come back, I'll show you. You won't have to sit here and watch me tediously bend all these LEDs, but that's the magic of film. I have to tediously do it, but you guys get to just see it happen. So anyway, I'm gonna stop the camera. I'll come back when we have all 4 layers ready, and then we'll start soldering then the layers to each other, so that way we can start building the cube. All right, I'll be back in a second. Okay guys, I'm back. Got all the deals bent. Now it's time to solder. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in. Alright, and what we're going to do is we're going to place a solder blob here on the wire and solder the 2 anodes together. Solder these 2 anodes together. Solder this wire and the 2 anodes, and then solder these 2 anodes together. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to grab a little bit of solder, okay, and we're going to solder our stuff together. Okay, one there, do a blob there, okay, we're going to do a blob over here. Get enough solder on it to make it wick up and work. And then one finally here. Okay, and that's it. And then we're going to do that to all the rest of them. Go all the way down through there and solder all those together. I'll be back when I get it soldered. Okay guys, I'm back. We got it all soldered together. Now it's time to pop it out. Mine kind of sticks in there, so I have to take kind of a little proddy thing and just kind of gently poke the LEDs to get it out of my little jig. It was due to the fact that I didn't have the right size, like an exact 5mm whatever drill bit, but that's okay. This works. Alright. Voila, there we go. Now you have a completed, let me zoom in, a completed deal. Now, you've got these little excess little pieces right here. You can just go ahead and trim those off. Okay, from your wires, just excessively turn them off, trim them off. Okay, so do that, and then you'll take and do the same thing. You'll test your LEDs, you'll hook up your power and test all your LEDs, make sure that they're all good, and then I'll be back with the next video on stacking these. I'll be back with stacking them up because I got to make 2 more of these, and then we can start stacking them up to build the cube. Alright, I'll be back in a minute. Okay guys, we're back. We got all of them done now. Now we're going to have to trim some stuff. If you notice, all of these have 4 anodes coming off the side. Well, since we've connected them with these wires, you really only need 1 anode per layer. We're going to call each chunk of 16 a layer. Okay, so what we're going to do is we only need 1, so we're going to stagger them. Okay, so this one, what we're going to do is we're going to trim off the excess ones. Okay, keep this from going flying. Trim off the excess anode. Okay, to where we have that one. Okay, now the next one, sorry, didn't mean to bump the camera. The next one we're going to cut off that one, but then we're going to skip the next one. Okay, and cut the others off. Okay, see what I'm doing? So this one, then on this one it bumps up one. Then the next one's going to bump up two. We'll leave this one, cut the rest of them off. Then the last one, we'll leave the top one and cut the rest of these off. So let's go ahead and do that. So we got these, so now we're going to go ahead and cut this one. So I'm going to cut this guy off. Cut this guy off. Oop, I'm getting tangled here. Oh Lord. But leave the next one and cut the last one off. Okay, stuff out of my way. Okay, so boom, boom, boom. And then the last one, everybody's going to get cut off but the last one. Okay, whoops, kind of bent that LED. That's okay. Thing nice about it is that you can bend stuff back straight if you need to. Okay, so there we go. So boom, boom, boom. Now we're going to be able to begin the stacking sequence. And if you notice, if we stack it, you've got this one and that one. Then this one will be the next one. Okay, and then this one will be the last one. And if you can see, it goes at an angle. Is how they will go up. Of course, actually I have this wrong. It actually goes like this, 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 and then finally the last one. And I don't know if you can see it, but see these are going up at an angle since we cut them staggering. And what we'll do is we'll tie on to these and bring them down as well, and then that's how you'll power each layer through the anodes. You'll power it through that. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to probably solder one layer, and then we'll come back and I'll show you how we're actually attaching each layer to each other. So let me go ahead and get some stuff started, and we'll be back in just a second. Okay guys, I'm holding the camera now. I've kind of got a couple of layers together. Notice, see how it's staggering it like that. See the two pins? Doop, doop. I'll keep on stacking them up. But what you're going to do is when you stack them, each of these of the cathodes will overlap. I don't know if you can see that. This one's not connected, that one is. They're going to overlap each other. So what you're going to do is you're going to solder each one of those cathodes together. So 16 of them, boom, 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 around the edges, as well as, you know, around the inside too. So you got all those little cathode connecting pieces. I know it's kind of hard to see, but you're going to connect all of them. See, like that one right there. That yeah, let's see if I can zoom in. That one right there, that connection that's not there, I got to connect that. So basically that little 90 degree and that straight one, they solder together, and solder, 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 and you just solder all that together, and that makes the connection of your two layers. So I'm going to go ahead and make all the solder connections and stack the rest of the layers up, and we'll see the finished product when I come back. Okay guys, we're back, and I got all four on. Okay, it is kind of a challenge to solder, but we've got the cube now. And I don't know if here, maybe I can set it on its side. We can test it by, let me hook up, we'll test the top one. Let me hook this up here. And then, so we should have the top one, that's the top layer. So, oh, I gotta turn the power supply on. So then hopefully the top one should work. There it is, there it is, there it is, there it is. And if I get like one of the ones in the middle, there it is, there it is. So, and as I went, I periodically tested these. So the minute I got done soldering a layer, I'd hook up power to the anode and then touch all the cathodes down here to make sure that that whole layer had continuity and would work. You know, the solder joint wasn't a cold joint or something weird. But yeah, that's basically how you make these. Pretty straightforward. A little tedious. You do have to tweak, and don't be afraid to tweak it. That's what you got your pliers for. When you set the layers down and the cathodes don't quite line up with each other, just take and bend them around, you know, just gently, very gently, because that way you don't break it, but very gently, just kind of bend them around, and you'll pretty much have it. Okay, so guys, next video will be the hardware video, how we connect this. It may be a little while, because I may actually order a board for this, so it may be a while before we actually see the full demo of this fully constructed and working, but in the meantime, we'll do the hardware, and then we'll do the software. So stay tuned for those videos. Hope this video was helpful. Sorry it took a while, but anyway, shows you how to build one of these. So there we go. Thanks a lot. Bye.